Hypothesis testing is one of the most important concepts in statistics. This concept is used by the statistics people, machine learning engineers, and data scientists. Statistics are used to check whether null hypothesis is rejected or accepted. A hypothesis is made by the researchers about the data collected for any experiment or data set. Hypothesis is an assumption made by the researchers that is not mandated true for every time. Sometimes what is assumption made by the researcher is sometimes false. It is not mandated true for every time. In simple words, a hypothesis means it is a decision taken by the researchers based on the data of the population collected. There are four steps in hypothesis testing. First one, state the hypothesis. This step is started by stating two types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, which is accepted as true. Null hypothesis is accepted, it is true. If alternative hypothesis is accepted, it is true. If null hypothesis is not accepted, it is rejected. It is not true, it is rejected. It is rejected. Formulate an analysis plan and set the criteria for decision making. The significant level of test is set. Here the significant level is taken as 0.01, 0.05, 0.00. So Z is taken as a default value. Analyze the sample data. To analyze the sample data, the test statistics is used to formulate the statistical comparison. Here, the such statistical comparison is done by considering the sample mean and mean of the population, or by considering the statistic or by considering the standard deviation of the sample or standard deviation of the population. Interpret the decision. Test statistics value is used to make the decision based on the significant level. Basically, the significant level is considering as 0.05. Here, two rules have to be followed. If p-value is greater than 0.05, we accept the null hypothesis. If p-value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. Here, the null hypothesis is represented by H0 and alternate hypothesis is represented by H1. Parametric tests. Parametric tests are those tests for which we have prior past knowledge of the population distribution. If the user does not have any prior knowledge about the population distribution, about the normal distribution, we can easily approximate the normal distribution which is possible with the help of central limit theorem. The data of the whole population follows the normal distribution, not the sample data. So, not the sample data, the whole population of the data follows the normal distribution. For normal distribution, suppose if the user want to use the normal distribution, then the parameters the user had to follow is mean and standard deviation. What advantages of parametric tests are? In parameters does not require data. It is easy to calculate them, provide all the necessary information. Disadvantages of parametric tests are not suitable to small data sets. The size of the sample is always very big, and the type of parametric tests are one sample t-test, two sample t-test, and pair sample t-test. T-test is a small sample test. It was developed by William Gossett in the year 1908. It is also called student's t-test or student's t-distribution t-test. We use t-test to compare the mean of two groups of data. So we are taking two groups of data, but the size of the sample must be small. It should be less than 30. So it is used to compare the mean of two groups of data. For performing sample t-test using the formula in R, that is t dot t-test. T dot test function is used to perform the one sample t-test. Here syntax is to perform t-test using R, one sample t-test in R using the formula t dot test. Syntax is t dot test of x comma mu equals 0. Here x is a numeric vector containing your data values. Mu is nothing but the theoretical mean. Default value is 0. And alternative means the alternative value it is optional. The alternative means it contains of two-sided, one-sided or default. So it is not necessary to use this alternative value. Creating a sample of 5 observations. Here I am creating the vector of 5 observations. Means I am taking 5 values. 5 observation is here I am taking 5 values. I am creating the vector. The vector can be created by using the in vector. If it contains more than one element, we use a function concatenate. C is nothing but the concatenate function. So we are specifying the vector name. Here I am specifying the vector name as sample underscore data e- equal to C of, I am giving 5 values 170, 175, 180, 182 and 185. Conduct a one sample t-test with population mean equal to 10. So I'm specifying the mean value 10. If you take any value, it is not necessary to take these values, we can take any value. So now I am applying the syntax. The function of one sample t-test is t dot test of, I am giving the vector name sample underscore data comma mu equal to 10. So when I run it and when if this code is run in R, we can get the output like this. We are getting the p-value 3.713 e power minus 0.7. Here, the p-value, we have to check the p-value which is signal level value. Here I am taking the signal level value 0.05. Here, the p-value is greater than 0.05. So, I got p-value is that means e power minus 0.7 means 10 times to the power of minus 7. The number written in decimal form is 0.07. Here we get the p-value is less than 0.3 means here the p-value is less than 0.07. Then what is to do? We reject the null hypothesis. So I am repeating once again here. Hypothesis testing is one of the most important concepts in statistics. This concept is heavily used by the statistics people, machine learning engineers, and data scientists. Statistical tests are used to check whether the null hypothesis is rejected or not rejected. Hypothesis is made by the researchers about the data collected for any experiment or data set. Hypothesis is an assumption made by the researchers that is not mandatory to for every time. In simple words, hypothesis is a decision taken by the researcher based upon the data collected from the population. We having four steps in hypothesis testing. One is state the hypothesis, second one is formulate an analysis plan and set the criteria for decision. State the hypothesis means here we are stating two hypotheses. One is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis which is accepted as true. Formulate an analysis plan and set the criteria for decision means here the segment level of test is set. Here the segment, we are taking the segment level is, we have in different segment level values. One is 0.00, 0.01, 0.001 and 0.005. Analyze the sample data. Here to analyze sample data, test statistics is used to formulate the statistical comparison by considering the sample mean and mean of population mean, or by considering the standard deviation of the sample and standard deviation of the population. Interpreted decision means test statistic value is used to make the decisions based on the significant level. Here I am taking the significant level is 0.05. There are two rules have to be followed. One is p value is greater than 0.05. We accept the null hypothesis. If the p value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. Parametric test or those tests for which we have the past knowledge, like the prior knowledge of the population distribution. If the user does not have any knowledge about the normal distribution, the user can easily approximate it with the normal distribution, which is possible with the help of central limit theorem. The data of the whole population follows a normal distribution, not the sample data. For parametric test, we have to use the normal distribution. To follow normal distribution, the user have to know the following parameters. The first one is mean and second one is standard deviation. Advantages of parametric tester: does not require data. It is easy to calculate, provide all the necessary information. Disadvantages of parametric tests are not suitable to small data sets. The size of the sample is very big. And next we having different types of parameter test. One is one sample t-test, two sample t-test and base sample t-test. Here I am telling about the one sample t-test. So before telling one sample t-test, what is meant by t-test? T-test is a small sample test. The sample size should be less than 30. It was developed by William Gossett in 1908. It is also called as student t-test or student t-distribution t-test. We use a t-test to compare the mean of two groups of data. The sample size must be small. To perform one sample t test using R, we use the R function. So in R, we use it in R to calculate the one sample t test. We use the function t dot test. The syntax is t dot test of x comma mu equal 0. X is a numeric vector containing your data values, and mu is the standards for theoretical mean, and default value is 0. Alternative means the alternative value, which is optional. It is not mandatory to compulsory use this alternative. It contains three values: default value, graded value, and two-sided value. One sample t-test using R example. Here, to create a one sample t-test in R, first we have to create the vector by using five values. Means I am taking five values, and when I am creating the vector name is sample underscore data. And in vector, if we are using more than one value, we have to use this C concatenation function. So C of I am specifying five values. Convert one sample t-test with population mean equal 10. So we are applying the syntax t dot test of the vector name is sample underscore data and mean equal to 10. Nothing but mu equal to 10. So after running this code in, I get the output p value equal to 3.713 e power minus 0.7. So e power minus 0.7 means it is 10 times to the power of minus 7. The number written in decimal form is like this. Here the p value is less than the 0.05. The p value is less than the 0.05. Then we reject the null hypothesis. Like the we can perform in R. Thank you, one and all.